Yeah, we had a split weekend, which is a little unusual. So we were on the road Friday and back home on Sunday. So Friday we had a tough game in Durango, always a hard place to play. I don't know if I've ever been there when there hasn't been a 15-mile-an-hour wind and, just all the elements to be there. And Fort Lewis is a really physical, just tough team. And so I think that was a big challenge for us. It ended up getting a late goal and holding on for that win. So I thought that was a good win for our development going forward to be able to get that road win. And then Sunday back at home was nice to be back on the home field a little bit. But I think we're kind of aware now as we get into this home stretch that every game matters a lot, and there's I think a lot of excitement to finish out the season strong.
Absolutely, and taking that excitement into the last home weekend of the season.
Maybe.
That's true.
Regular season. Yeah.
Your last two games of the regular season will be on the road, but just talk about the upcoming opponents this weekend and then what kind of the home advantage has been.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we there's no easy games in this conference. We mentioned before how competitive it is. So every day is competitive. We have Colorado Christian at 7 p.m. under the lights on Friday. We opened up the season at home at 7 p.m. under the lights, so we're really excited. That's always, I think, an atmosphere that's really cool to college athletics when you get that. And then Sunday, which is our senior day, final regular season home game at 12 p.m. against Metro State or MSU Denver. I think both games are going to be really competitive. Both teams have shown that they can win big games and compete in the RMAC. In particular, I know Metro, took Mines to the wire, and so both games will be very competitive for us, and I think good for us to kind of continue to develop who we want to be and what kind of team we want to be, in ourselves, not just contingent on our opponent, but who we want to be as a team. So I think there'll be good growth moments for us.
Okay, questions?
What has the culture of this team been like throughout the season for you guys? Because you've played some really tough opponents in a really tough conference of college Division II soccer. So what is the culture like? How's that developed throughout the season?
You guys go.
Okay. The culture has gotten a lot better throughout the season. So it started out with preseason, which is always a bit tough, and you have to really come together. And then we got upon the three toughest games back to back, and it really brought us together to be able, after we got the first win, we really started to come together even more, and you could see the success even off the field just with the way we were interacting with each other, and that's been really, really cool and awesome to be able to have a team, and I know that I can depend on them on the field and off the field. It's been getting continually better.
I think compared to last year, I think the energy is so different within the team. We're still the same team mostly. I mean, there's a few additions with our freshman class, but I have to give it to the captains a lot. They've done a really good job of bringing us together and telling us when the energy needs to go up and when we need to be better and when we need to focus more. And I think just that, having that in the back of our mind throughout all these games has really pushed everyone. And I think we just really relied on each other throughout these games. And I think seeing each other push so hard, everyone's wanting to just keep working harder to get these wins in.
Early on, we talked about the confidence this team has gotten week after week after week, and now it's almost kind of bring it. You guys, you believe that we can play with anybody right now. And going into the last couple weeks of the season, and obviously you want to be on a roll because you're planning to come back here, it sounds like. Is that kind of the mentality now?
Yeah, I would think so. Right now, I think that something that is being portrayed from almost all of the team is just as we've already come this far and we're believing in each other and we're doing the things that we've been talking about all season. So we can't drop that level and we want to maintain where we're at and then keep improving. So just not letting anything drop below what we've expected of ourselves thus far.
Yeah, I think in fall sports that when the weather starts to turn, it's time to get serious, and the good teams get focused because you got to shift there's second gear, there's third gear. Like the end of the regular season, the last push of the regular season, I think has its own level. And then postseason is a whole nother gear you got to get to. So I think for us, the last 5 games, it's about finding who we want to be and raising, we had to click that up a little bit for these last 5 games and raise that up a little bit and kind of continue to figure out the layers and who we want to be as a team. So I think those are the big moments. To me, it's a lot of positive peer pressure because you see all the people around you doing the work and having success, and you're like, I'm doing that too. I don't want to be the one that's not doing it. I want to be, I want to be where everyone else is. So I think it kind of creates a good peer pressure amongst the team. So yeah, I mean, I think it's time to shift into like that end of the regular season mode.
I think our confidence level has boosted, but I think like we're not this like arrogant team. I feel like we still have to put in the work to show up every single day and to perform at the level we want to perform at. And I think it does come from the team atmosphere again that we just have to try our best and really push and just so that we can reach our goals that we had set in the beginning of the season. So
everybody makes like year-long goals or season goals or weekly goals, and I think in the past weeks we've talked about you guys have certain teams you want to beat a little more than others. Do those kind of boxes help you check, and do you guys like make check boxes every week? Like, hey, this week we're at home, we want to win 2 games at home, or what do you guys do week in and week out?
It's not like an actual check it off the box, but I think it's like a
mental check.
Yeah, a mental check. Like, oh, we did this, now that's done, we got to move on to the next thing. We saw after beating Northwest Nazarene, a top-ranked team, that game we had gone down a goal, then we tied it, then we got down a goal again, then we tied it again, and then we won in overtime. And we just saw like these little goals and those little inches that we put into the game. We saw like, oh, check, we got this and this. And so I think after that game, we realized we can do whatever we need to do to get to the RMAC tournament. And I think just checking these off and turning our head and saying that's done, moving on, I think that's what's really helped us.
Yeah, I think another thing that we're doing every week is just kind of like we focus on the positive a lot, and so we're not pushing ourselves down or doubting ourselves for anything we're doing, and it's just like we're keep building ourselves up, even if we're like say down a goal or down a couple of goals, but we're like, okay, we got this. We build ourselves up to be able to push ourselves to the best we can to come back. And then I also think that we take it week by week. So we'll be like, okay, this week we have these 2 games. We have to push here, and we have to do our best in these 2 games that we have, to just keep ourselves accountable for what we want.
Yeah, I think a lot of times success comes from having achievable goals. So I think we try and put the games into pictures where we need to do this in the attack and we need to do this defending, and we feel like if we do those things, the performance is going to take care of the result in some ways. Like I think the mentality is a piece to like Sophia mentioned, be resilient, come back, never stop working in a game. But I think we try and give a lot of cues of what we want to focus on during a game. I think that helps us kind of know if we're doing that, we're going to feel like we're being successful.
You talked about just being resilient on the field. How has that helped with when you are down, or even when you are up and getting up at another goal, or just creating that larger lead or coming back?
I would say it's really hard to beat a team that doesn't give up, and that a team that plays the full 90 minutes. I think it's really hard to beat that team. I think we've tried to be that team throughout the course of the season. So I don't think we don't prefer to go down a goal, but I don't think it bothers us as much, because I think we have faith that if we do the right things, we're going to get more chances, and we're going to get chances to score and get another chance to go up. So I think that resiliency, honestly, is, in the UCCS game as well, went down, tied. We were in a bunch of different scenarios in that game, and I think the work ethic of the team kind of keeps us pushing no matter if we're up or down.
Do you think that will prepare you guys for the RMAC tournament and then playoffs as well, knowing that even if that situation, and you have been in these situations already throughout the season, that you know kind of how to get out of them and go up or tie the game?
Hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's a valid point. Like, we hope that we can take those lessons and lean on it, and that these guys are getting great experience right now in really big moments. That's the other nice part about playing in this conference is you get really big moments to be in, and if you want to be a good team, you want to be in those moments. You want to play in games that matter. So so we're gonna hope that it all can come together at the end of the season. Yeah. Good question.
So Carli, growing up here, I mean, you've seen this program, do this, and I mean, you, Lila, Lexi, all the local kids, does that make it even more fun to say, we're kind of the group that is taking this program to where it needs to be?
Yeah, it's honestly really cool because, like, over the years past, like, growing up here, you're like, oh, it's just CMU, it's just CMU, it's just Mesa. And, yeah, there's been some rough patches, and so being able to be on the high end of that and being, like, on the uphill is really cool to see and to be a part of. It's like, oh, okay, like, I get to be that person instead of people being like, oh, it's just CMU. At least, like, the little girls around here, it's just like, oh, they're actually doing well, let's go watch them. They're good, like, they're role models for us, so it's really cool to be able to be a part of it.
I think, on signing day, you and Lila kind of both talked about you wanted to be in that group to kind of boost this program.
Very much so. I just remember even a really cool moment I had a couple weeks ago during our game when all the little kids wanted to come and get autographs. I remember doing that exact thing when I was like 9 years old. I did the walkout and I got to do the lineup with all the players, and then we got to do the autographs, and it was cool to be able to be on the other side of it and to be able to be that person for someone else.
All right, question of the week. If your life was a TV show, what would it be?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. Sports Center. All right. You all watch Friends all the time.
I was going to say Friends.
Yeah,
My life's very similar to that.
Yeah.
Which character are you?
Phoebe? No.
Phoebe.
I'm like Ross. I feel like
Paleontologist.
yeah. Biology major.
Probably Chandler.
Yeah. I can see that.